I'm nowhere near perfect. I'm not talking to you as an expert in any way, shape, or form. I'm literally talking to you as a reflection of you and someone who has gone through these experiences and have just like and given the game that I've learned, you know, in straight black and white and examples of how I've done it, you know. So yeah.
For sure. You've gave us an idea of when you were strategic. What was the time when you were chaotic? All right.
So there are times where, I've let things go. I didn't strategize. Like, there's always things you haven't thought about that you got to come back to later. Like when I had fell out with some family members, like even my mom, our relationship got tainted for a long time. And it was like, I was not calling her. I was not checking in. I wasn't doing anything. That a son, and now having a son, I really feel the depth of that. You know what I'm saying? And I could have strategized that better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could have strategized a lot of things better, and you always have 20/20 in hindsight.
Totally. No, and I agree. It's just good to know because, it's the same for me. And I love how you said that strategy is also sometimes with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we say the wrong thing at the wrong time,
Mm-hmm.
or you say the right thing but at the wrong time, or you say the right thing but in the wrong way, or you say the right thing but in the wrong place, or you say the right thing and to the wrong person, right? It's like it has to be strategic.
It does,
because otherwise it's not digested. We just think as long as I'm saying the right thing, everything will be okay. But if you say the right thing in the wrong place to the wrong person at the wrong time in the wrong way with the wrong word, the wrong language, it doesn't matter how true the thing you said was.
Right.
And that's what strategy is going, wait, how do I make sure this lands?
Wow.
Like what is required for this to actually have an impact on someone and to serve them and help them?
Yeah, and that's what we're here to do, is to serve, really. In every aspect. This always comes down to being of service, in anything we put out there, in any interview, in any book, in any song. It's really of service to whatever the moment it relates to. You know what I mean? So and you're right, saying the right thing to the wrong. And the thing is, you're kind of the only one who can dictate. Right and wrong is so opinionated depending on who you talk to.
For sure.
There are a lot of people who think that, anything that we could think is wrong, somebody could argue how it's right. Even down to black and white, somebody can argue that this text that says the exact same thing means this thing, or this means that thing. So I think it's important to come from a place of understanding. And this leads to something else I want to talk about, because just because you understand something doesn't mean you have to accept it.
Ooh.
Just because you understand it, and that's something that I had to learn the hard way. I thought that I was being this spiritual guy by, if I get into a disagreement with someone, understanding where they come from. And then ultimately turns to me not respecting myself. Because I'll understand where they're coming from and be like, okay, like, I get it. But the fact that I still get it, it doesn't mean that I can't express myself and I'm not valid.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that everyone knows that, because I think that was something that I learned, is to set boundaries. And that's like that big B word. That's like the biggest B word there is boundaries, that I've learned this year. And like that has really, really, really changed a lot of dynamics with people, and it changed a lot of it's really created a lot of happiness in my life.
Why did boundaries become so prominent in the last year, as you said?
I think I was trying to be a hero in every situation I was in. I'm such an empathetic person, so I love to I really can feel when people are going through something. Even when the world is going through something, it's like I kind of really have to like really protect myself energetically, because I take on a lot of people's problems. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't help it. And it's not I don't look at it as a bad thing. I just look at it as how I am. Do I wish sometimes that I could just cut things off? Yeah, but it had taught me that I can. I just have to set boundaries on what I can and can't accept. And this year, there are a lot of things that I was tired of feeling uncomfortable in certain situations. I was tired of letting people walk all over me. And just because I understood, or I get it, I'm not respecting myself. And I didn't realize that I wasn't respecting myself in that. There are times where, I need to I can't go to this thing. I can't do this. Or, you know what? I can't go here. I can't go to Dubai and do this show because I have to be here for my son. I got to take my son trick-or-treating. You know, I had to set some of those boundaries that may have cost me one thing, but I gained another. And one of the most important things I gained back from setting boundaries is the trust in myself. You know, the confidence that I feel like I have been building up for so long.
Yeah, and I think we're scared of setting boundaries because we are scared of what we lose when we do.
I know.
And it could be FOMO, it could be, you know, the fear of becoming irrelevant, the fear of becoming insignificant, the
fear of losing a person.
The fear of losing a person. But I learned that too. I remember a time in my life where I had so much compassion fatigue, where I just felt like I was there for everyone else, but I had no, and when I say income, I don't mean financially, I mean there was no energy income coming in.
And you were just a piece of you. You were just a part of you at that point.
Exactly. And you're just, and it's what you just said, you're trying to be a superhero and you're trying to be the guy, not in an egotistic way. No. You actually just care about people.
For real.
But I realized very, very quickly at that time that unless I was full, rested, complete, you know, I wasn't actually able to help anyone. I was just giving people my leftovers.
Yeah.
And not the best of myself.
And how to enjoy it. And you got to enjoy your life too.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. And I just found that what really helped me was remembering that I didn't have enough to give anyone else if I wasn't in a good place myself.
Period.
And that didn't mean I wanted to get to a good place just for myself. The reason I wanted to get to a good place is so I could give more good to others. And therefore there had to be a structure. There had to be an order of, all right, well, I need to take care of myself.
Right.
I need to be full. I need to be ready, and then I can extend myself. But if I keep extending myself to everyone else, chances are I get bitter at them. I'll get mad at myself.
Yeah.
And then I won't have anything to give.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Yeah. And it's an interesting one, boundaries, because I feel like, I think we also think we set boundaries for other people, but we do it for ourselves.
You do it for ourselves.
Because people always be like, oh, this person keeps breaking my boundaries. And I'm like, well, no, you keep breaking your boundaries.
Exactly.
Right?
No, yeah, it's you know, it's like the boundaries, forgiveness, they're not just there for you, you know. Forgiveness is for you as well. And boundaries are for you as well. Yeah, it's been tough. I think that I grew up letting people walk all over me. I think I grew up by letting people take advantage of me straight up, you know, just to be real. And I saw that in my parents, especially my dad. He would let people take advantage of him. He was a very nice guy. And there's nothing, like I said, right or wrong. It's an opinion, you know, it's just a perspective. So I'm not criticizing him or saying he was wrong in any way. It's just the kind-spirited, hearted person he is. But along with that, you do have to set your boundaries and respect who you are, because you will lose a sense of yourself by trying to take care of everyone else. You will lose a sense of yourself if you don't set these boundaries. You will lose a sense of yourself if you don't take the time out to keep connecting with yourself, even if it's something you love. I lost like the passion of like watching anime. I remember when I was working so hard, it's like I hadn't sat and watched anime. I love watching anime. I love Dragon Ball Z. I love like